All right, Stage for Lifers. Today on Stage for Life's podcast, we're going to be interviewing Amy Grappling, my wife, and she's going to tell you her story about her role as a supporter through all this since 1993 all the way to today. So yeah, it's been a little while. So Amy, tell me about when you first found out that I had cancer. Once I told you, so tell me about that story.
I went home in between clients at the time to get dinner prepared. So all we had to do is just heat it up when we got home. And it was around 5:30. I remember that. And because I had to be back at the gym at 6. And I remember you calling and telling me, and really I was just in disbelief, trying to get my thoughts together, trying to finish what I was doing and get back and look normal in front of all my clients because at the time, it wasn't just the time to tell them because we didn't know all the logistics of what's going to happen, how long he was going to be out. But the main thing that I did was I did get hold of my parents because they're a really big backbone for me. And then I just started doing research trying to figure out why he contacted cancer because or got cancer because it doesn't run in his family. And we were eating healthy, we exercised, we're getting to sleep, you know, alcohol in moderation. It was trying to figure out, and the only thing we could relate it to was when he was trying to lift hard and heavy, his protein intake was increased. And that's really the only thing we could figure out because we're already doing a lot of things we still do.
Yeah. So how'd you feel about? So what was your feelings at that time when you were
Um,
like emotionally?
it was, it's kind of like a big hole because you're trying to realize that you had no control of the situation. You just hope and pray that everything was going to be fine. It was just emotionally, I'm fairly strong until you hit me with something like this. And then I guess it was not so much as overwhelming, but disbelief at the time.
Yeah, speaking about being hit. All right, and so we'll fast forward 2003. I was hit by a car, and I know what I was doing. I was flying through the air, and I was screaming out, "Hey, Amy!" as you were doing a power slide off the bike. So anyway, so once I got hit by the car, um, what happened next?
Well, it's the best power slide ever, all I got to say. Um, Laid down the bike. I go clomping down, running down to Lee. And again, I'm not a panicky person. But when you see your husband flying through the air and then sliding on the chip and seal pavement, yeah, I got a little panicky that day. Um, and that's the day we didn't take a phone with us. We forgot. It was like, oh, we'll be okay. No big deal. Well, I was going looking at Lee and he looked at me and I was like, oh my God, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? And then all of a sudden he goes, Amy. And I turned around and looked at him and he was like, fly down the car. I was like, oh, okay. And I said, lo and behold, there was a car coming and we ended up knowing them. They were mechanics at Bob's Bikes, called 911 for us, took care of our bikes. And so I was trying to call people using the hospital when we got to the hospital, trying to say, hey, we're over here at the hospital. We need somebody to come pick us up when Lee's released. And there's that. So in 2003, I have to go back because we were with the
Yep.
Cleveland Clinic.
Yeah, we went to Cleveland Clinic after I got hit by a car. So I was in the ER pretty much all day, and in the ER, that's when they did all the scans. That's when they found that my left and only remaining kidney was all screwed up. It did not look like a normal kidney at all. And so anyway, the fast forward, the doctors basically ended up sending me to the Cleveland Clinic. So yeah, so then we met Mary Ellen Kozak, who's the concierge at the Cleveland Clinic. So tell me about Mary Ellen.
She was amazing. She set me up. I mean, she was really all Lee had to do was show up at doctor's morphs and get tested and all that. So I was working with her to get everything set up so that he would be comfortably after surgery. So they Cleveland Clinic is amazing. So they have two hotels that you can stay. And the one that we stayed in was kind of like a suite, had a separate small little kitchenette, separate living area, and the bathroom and bedroom. And so we set him up. We had two separate beds, and we set him up where they were bringing in all these pillows because they had dealt with this before. And they said, oh, we got you covered. And I was like, okay. So next thing I know, we've got like 10, 12 pillows so that he can prop up um, with everything. And Mary Ellen and then the concierge of the hotel I didn't have to go without. They were like, "Well, let me take you to the hospital." "Oh, it's just only a short little walk." They'd let me walk during the day, but at night, no, they would come pick me up, which was like maybe a minute drive. But they were absolutely amazing. When something lacked in the hospital room, Mary Ellen was right there. So I can't say enough about the Cleveland Clinic. Plus, they had a mall where they had all these different restaurants, and so if you didn't want to eat at the hotel, you had all these restaurants at the hotel, which was totally amazing. Um,
And the artwork was pretty incredible too
and
on the inside that atrium at in the hospital. It's unbelievable. But anyway, so how did you handle things at Gravely Fitness? We were trying to run our business at that same time.
we we had just We had just moved to our new location in 2004 when we actually found out in 2003 they had surgery January 2004. So, again, as I said, my parents has always been a backbone for us. And my dad was retired. And so he came in and he ran the business for us, took care of our kitties. We had our dog Ubu at a great place called Wagon Train, so he was taken care of, and but my dad handled our household, his household, and the gym. So I can't thank them enough because they have been, you know, 10 years so far.
Yeah, that's not the end of the story. So yeah, in 2016, I was coming off my annual visit from my internist, and I asked, them basically. I hadn't had my scan, my ultrasound done in my kidney. I'm supposed to have that done twice a year. So they did it in April, but they haven't done it in November when this appointment was. So I did the scan, and we ended up finding cancer. And so then I told you. So what happened next?
That one was hard because it was the third time around, and the first two was near Thanksgiving we found out, but this one was a little bit different. Was it before September or close to Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving.
So it happened around Thanksgiving. So I'm like, okay, no more doctor's appointments around Thanksgiving. That time I was in disbelief, and this time was a little bit more to me, a little riskier because it was part in the kidney, part out of the kidney, even though it was encapsulated. Again, my parents are right there with me. And it is one of those things handling again, you didn't want to see it third time around because your more thoughts are going because it's kind of hard to say. At that point, you do get overwhelmed. Once I had a little pity party, you learn to manage it. And so you deal with what you're given. You do some more research to say, okay, now what do we need to do? What do we need to change in our lifestyle? What is it our eating? Is it our exercise? Is it lack of sleep? Is it the environment? And so you're researching all that because it's hitting home a lot harder. And again, my parents were there sitting in the waiting room of the OR, and it's just one of those things that you think about growing old, you think about what you should have done, what you could have done, what you would have done, but it doesn't matter. All that matters was Lee surviving this and being cancer free once it's over.
Well, I survived it, and here we are. Speaking of which, so now then it's 2024, and in March of 2024, I finally go get my collarbone seen about, get X-rays done on my collarbone. It's been driving me nuts. And so, anyway, so the answer came back that it was cancer. Because the next day the CT scans they found the tumors in my lung. So, tell me about your reaction and what happened, and what you were thinking.
Well, I think I had my dates wrong on his notes. It's been a year. I was slow to accept the results. I was like, no, you read them wrong. Because we're in the car, dropping his car off. So we're supposed to have some strong storms, like
Yeah, it's 2025. So
some strong storms. And so we're going to park his car at a parking deck in Liberty Park, and we squeezed mine into the garage. And the only reason why we can do that because his won't fit in our garage. It's a little too long. And so I was like, no, you read them wrong. You are not right. You are incorrect. I would not accept it. And then he got home and he started making phone calls to one of our clients that we trained, Brian Larson. And I was like, okay, well, this is serious. Let me read what was written down. And so it was hard to not accept it. So I immediately had to call my sister. And I didn't want to because took my parents to the beach. And I said, by no means do you give them a call. And again, it takes a lot to make me upset. I don't have panic attacks, but I think I had a little panic attack that day because I was like, this can't be happening again. This cannot be happening again. And so again, I had another close friend I called and she picked right up and then we talked the next day. And so it's not so much as a pity party. It was almost like a come to Jesus meeting. And you realize you're going, what did I do wrong? What did we do wrong? Did I not get down on my hands and knees and pray enough? Did I not do everything right that I could have done? And so I had to have my little moment. But now that we've moved on, and we still have moments, because what I'm doing now is I got with Lee. We changed our cookware. Got rid of all plastic. We only use plastic if it's something cold. And so I did a lot of research on cookware, the best cookware to buy, changed utensils. I even looked at cleaning supplies, laundry detergent, soap, shampoo. I've looked at all that because I mean, what do you do? And so, but as of right now, I just try to be there, and when he's having a bad day, I just kinda sit back because he's gotta deal with it, and he's gotta get to where he can talk about it or move along, and I just go my way, and then, so what do? I do exercise. I love exercising in the morning. We go up to the top of the hill, and that's when sometimes the sun is rising and I can see it, and I just stop and pray. Exercise is where we find world peace and peace within our hearts. It kind of relieves the stress. And I journal. I journal a good bit, and sometimes it might be lapse, but then I journal a whole lot. And so, as of right now, we're just learning what foods to really, really stay away from,
Yeah, that's true.
learning to try to keep the stress down because sometimes I am very much type A. I just try to manage my emotions, and it's hard to let other people know because you don't want to burden them. Because a lot of times I can manage them and move on, and I'm okay.
But in helping other survivors, what do you plan on doing? Like cooking shows? Are you planning on doing grocery stores, like going through items at grocery stores, picking out the better items, showing how people could read the ingredient list?
I think that's on my list to do. Is we just have to do it together because I got to have somebody filming me, and I got to remember to go slow enough because I'm one of those people who want to get in and out. But yes, I would like to do the food, saying what's in the items, how to pick which better items, and even you might have to shop at several grocery stores to get what you want. I'd like to do that. Kind of discuss the cookware, because there's different options depending on what your budget is, and mainly, and again for the supporters, it's very important to exercise and get that stress relief because even though you don't have the cancer, it's like you do, and so you have to learn how to manage those. You have to learn how to manage all that and then just say, it's going to work out. God's got us. I've given my guardian angel away. And,
Thank you, dear.
and then mainly just doing research on learning how to ask your doctor, learning how to present your doctor. Well, what about this? What about that? Because a lot of people won't talk to their doctor because they're afraid, well, what they say is right. Well, not all the time. And so those are the 3 things,
Mm.
and really pushing support of other people. If you're feeling bad, just, you know, it's okay if you hit us up,
No,
message us.
absolutely. Of course, that's what we're here for.
We're handling a couple different situations right now, so
Yeah, that's true. But in handling, so what's your advice to other supporters out there who might be going through similar situations?
you just gotta sit back and think, like, advice of what to do. Well, for one, because you never know, make sure all your financials in order. Make sure that you've got everything in order that needs to be in order, whether he has to go to they have to go to the hospital, they have to have care in the hospital, have that. Um, I think you can keep a journal of what you need to be done and what's to do and what you have done. I think that way you can mark it off. And then if something comes up saying, hey, I need to just research the medications that they're on, research the treatments that they're going to be doing. And if you have questions, you have to ask. You have to ask the professionals. You have to ask the doctors. You have to ask the nurses. You have to ask everybody that's involved. And don't be afraid to present. Well, what about this? Because we have.
Yeah. So what do you use? You use Google? Do you use Grok XAI? What do you use?
Oh, I'm a big Grok XAI. And that's really sad because you can put it in, like, prime example, when we found out about Lee's the tumor, that new tumor appearing, I put it in Grok, and then I asked, because you had been on ivermectin, could that have had effect? And it goes in the way his treatment, his Cabo treatment is metabolized and ivermectin, and it says no, and then there's this, and then it's all in the prompts you use. So you've got to know what you're looking for, what the answer you're looking for. If you're trying to rule out and say, hey, this just appeared, you just got to use the right prompts. And however, Grok AI has been right on it, and then it'll present something for you, and then you can have another question. And you link it all. You can ask questions, and then it'll go, do you need more explanation? I can give you a little bit more based on if you have the results of a test. So you can put the results of a test in there. Or you can say, he's on this treatment. Is there another treatment that maybe they should be on? So you can do all that with Grok, and it's amazing, totally amazing. And it'll also give you the papers, and it's papers from PubMed, New England Journal of Medicine, Cooper Institute, Mayo Clinic. So it's from reputable sources. So you have to make sure reputable sources. You can't go to glamour.com. You have to, it's medical journals.
Yeah, because I know that we were very concerned that ivermectin may have lessened the effect of the chemo, but apparently it did not. It's just the ivermectin did not have any effect on renal cell carcinoma. And so that was quite a surprise. But anyway, so now then that I've been diagnosed with a new tumor on my liver, and so we'll see what happens with that. And I'm sure I'm getting an ablation, and there's no telling what else in store, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But I'm sure Grok will be there every step of the way.
So you see, he probably got 4 or 5 different little segments. I was like, oh, I asked this, here's this, here's this, here's this, here's this. And then he didn't have to do it. And I mean, he all he's got to do is read it. And then if he has a question, then I hit it again. Or can you tell me this? And so
You're quite amazing.
it's mainly knowing where to go, which we can help you with that. You can hit us up by email off our website, stageforlife.org.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. It's either Lee@stageforlife.org or Amy@stageforlife.org.
You can also message us through Facebook and Instagram. So just DM us. I mean, or you can go to our Facebook page and actually ask the question, and we'll answer you. So it's not.
Yeah, we're pretty accessible.
Yeah. So we try to pay attention to it, and try to hit back. And so again, as a supporter, stay strong, because we all got it. And then, as I said, and as I say this every time, and it was a person told me this. You always say God doesn't give you more than you can handle. I said, no, God doesn't give himself more than he can handle. And again, remember, you stay strong, stay focused, because it's how you manage and handle the situation greatly benefits the outcome of what's going to happen in both your lives as a supporter and as a cancer survivor.
Well put, Amy. And I guess with that, we'll wrap it up. And just to say, please follow us on, as she was saying, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. And also for the podcast, we're on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Music. Please follow, like, share, comment. All that is incredibly important. Also, follow along for our meetups. And we are planning on going to football games, baseball games. There's a big festival coming up here near where we live that everybody's going to be invited to. So stay tuned and keep up to date through our social media. Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
You go.